Now, the title of this is very simple. We all know that we are flesh and blood. Scientists tell us all the time how vulnerable we are. We're vulnerable to all the elements. So we know we're flesh and blood. We cannot withstand intense heat, such as molten metals. And yet, despite knowing this, NASA keeps telling us lies. Now imagine this guy here with sunglasses. Let's say, for example, he put his head in the microwave oven. Just imagine. Now, what do you think would happen to his eyeballs? I mean, this would happen, wouldn't it? I mean, his eyeballs would be literally on fire, not to mention the rest of his brain. And yet, NASA tells us that a man in a goldfish bowl is able to survive and withstand temperatures. And let's take a look at the suit he wears. It's just a puffer jacket, isn't it? Made with internal fibers, which makes the spacesuit. It's literally a Michelin type suit. And yet, NASA does its Walt Disney fairy tale story bit by telling us that that kind of equipment can withstand the immense temperatures of space, and that man will not die. Well then, let's take a look at this for a minute. These are the melting points of all the metallic elements that we have. Now pause on this if you can, and look at the nickel, the gold, tungsten even, and just ask yourself, metals, solid metals that we know can be heated up. Take gold for example, gold bars. Now they have a melting point, like everything does. It has a melting point. It requires immense temperature to make it melt and turn it into liquid metal. So picture this then. Liquid metal. And yet every day NASA tells us that they're able to fly these rockets into outer space where it is so immensely hot. And I'm telling you now, all of it is a movie. They show us CCTV images of what they say satellites look like. And then they say, yes, we're always going into space. Man can survive in space, they're saying. Flesh and blood can survive those immense temperatures of space. Now, it's a money-making industry. But just think about it. From metal to the immense temperature of space, are you telling me it wouldn't just be molten metal floating around? Are you telling me that vehicles can travel into outer space and not be globules floating around? I tell you, think about it. It's not possible. It's an immense hoax that they're playing on mankind. Now take another look at this. Enlarge it. Pause it on here. And I'm telling you straight, flesh and blood cannot survive heat. Neither can any animals. We cannot survive it. They have fabricated a reality saying they can do this. Ouch! Can you imagine that heat on my arm? And yet we're told that a man can survive in a Michelin jacket and travel up there and have a wonderful time. Now, we see the moon all the time. And yet this image they show of Earth is not real. It's entirely rubbish. Now, you see this? It's imitation of an angel. You see that? Imitation of a demon. Now, those two things, oh, and maybe this one, aliens. But man, no way.